Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats, you know that we gotta run it back. Whether on the field or the court, you know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media, and it's your boy, Mr. Live Wire and Marty yourself. So check this out. The one thing when I listen to Stephanie White talk, is about how well she wants to have Caitlin, keep control with Caitlin, let Caitlin have control rather, but actually defining certain elements in her game to make her be more dominant, not taking away for what she's known to do, but enhancing that on top of what she could become. Because Stephanie White, when she talks to the media or she talks to anybody on the podcast, she lays out what she sees in Caitlin, and she lays out what she sees in Caitlin's weakness as well. You know, what could be her greatest strength as a weapon as well too. That's the difference between her and Christy Sides. People sit here and say, well, Christy Sides should have kept her job. She did this, she did that. But she didn't know how to communicate with Caitlin Clark. She didn't know how to bring Caitlin Clark from where she was great at and take what she was weak at and make it even greater asset to her. Because Christy Sides wanted to control Caitlin Clark. She wanted to shut Caitlin Clark down. She wanted to limit. She didn't want Caitlin Clark to be the star of the team. She wanted Aaliyah Boston to be the star of the team. But Stephanie White is not. She still wants Caitlin Clark to be the star. She wants Caitlin Clark to be the general of this team. But at the same time, there's going to be a way to do that and make it cohesive for everybody to eat and benefit on this team. Now, Stephanie White sat down with Follow podcast, and she alluded to the things that what's going to make Caitlin great and what's going to take Caitlin to the next level. Take a listen.
Caitlin Clark, you have a generational talent. Sometimes that word is thrown around, but I think it's really fitting here. What aspects of her game would you like to work with her on for this season?
Yeah, I mean, certainly getting stronger was one. You know, the level of physicality in the W is totally different. You know, that's the way that teams have to try to keep her off balance, keeping a low center of gravity. You know, there are times where she plays a little bit upright, making sure core strength and her ability to move with time under tension and stay in a low center of gravity is important. You know, I think from just a straight basketball perspective, making sure that we help her diversify you know, her finishing ability, diversify in the way that it's not predictable, to be able to be equal in terms of production and facilitation going right and left, to be able to have different types of finishing looks, whether it's, you know, crossbody finishes, whether it's floaters at the rim, whether it's quick floaters, long floaters, you know, Euros. You can't quite be as fundamentally predictable with as much athleticism, speed, quickness, and as much as the game plan is going to be geared toward her. And then I think the challenge for us as coaches is how do we get her rest when she's on the floor while she's playing, right? Like while she's on the floor. And some of that's going to be playing off ball, utilize her as a screener, getting her into action on the third and fourth side instead of the first and second, where it's easy to game plan against. Now, how we use her to help everybody else be better off the ball. We know how great she is with the ball in her hands. We're not going to take that away, but we've got to be able to diversify a bit in how we use her. So from those kind of challenges as well. I mean, we've got like a short-term kind of list and we got a long-term kind of list, but Caitlin, you know, I remember from the very first day when we were working on balance and we were working on footwork and we were looking at all those things from day one to day two, she had it.
Wow.
Like she's a perfectionist and she wants it and she's going to work on it. So that long list might get shorter every day we're in practice.
Did y'all hear that? She said she's a perfectionist. She got it day one that they implement that to her. She knocked it out like that. That's what the great ones do, people. The great ones take the hardest thing and apply it to their game and perfect it. That's why I say that year two for Caitlin Clark is going to be one of the most historical years way better than what her rookie year was, because Stephanie White is bringing the best out of Caitlin Clark. She's not going to take the ball out of her hand. But guess what she did also say? If y'all didn't catch that, she said to play her off ball some, to give her some rest. Not like how Chrissy Sides did, just had to stand over in the corner and allow them just to dribble with no movement on the offense. Give her a breather where you don't have to always take her out the game. You could give her a few minutes to rest off the ball and then allow her to get the ball back in her hand to continue to generate the offense. That's smart coaching, guys. That's smart coaching. And you see it, you listen to it, and you breathe it, because Caitlin Clark knows she's at the next level and her greatness is on display game in, game out. And for them to really take in what she knows now and elevate it even higher for her, she's going to be one unstoppable force on the floor. And the thing about it is, I love what Stephanie White said too. She said, not being fundamentally challenged. You could be fundamentally gifted, but you still could be fundamentally challenged, because if you're being fundamentally predictable, then everybody gonna know how to coach against you. Stephanie White was the only one that really nailed it against her last year. Everybody else just blitzed her just to be blitzing her, but they didn't know how to slow her down because she still got a shot. But Stephanie White knew, she knew, and she used that against Caitlin Clark. You've seen it in the playoffs. Now she's coaching her and say, "Hey, this is what we did against you last year. This is how I want you to beat that." Because teams going to take what she did last year and try to implement it, but it's not going to work, because the fact of the matter is, Caitlin already is being coached by the coach that did it to her. It makes sense. Now, Stephanie White did also talk about technical fouls, where she wants the one to be getting technical fouls. We've seen Caitlin Clark has what, 5, 6 last year. Chrissy Sides got one. Chrissy Sides didn't stepped up to the plate for her. She didn't have her player back. But Stephanie White said, "Hey, I got you back. Take a listen."
Is look like momentum changing technicals we can't have. The unnecessary ones, like, we can't have. Having conversations about what it means to show your fire, and like, you don't want to take any of that away, because that's what makes her special, right? But to channel some of that, in a way that may not hinder our team. The margin for error in this league to win a championship is so small. And if one technical in a game changes the momentum and causes you to lose it, that's big. So when we get them, the timeliness of them, the ones that happen, in a heat of the moment, competitive, whatever. Okay, like, yeah, we live with those. It's the nagging ones, right? Like getting on the official and continuing to nag and nag and nag. Like, that's my job.
Yeah.
Right? That's my job. So I think for me, it's helping her navigate the when to do it and when not to. Helping her maintain, a constructive channel for a lot of that competitive spirit. And, I think it's important for Caitlin to utilize Tamika Catchings, because Catch was the same way. Like, oftentimes our greatest strength can sometimes be our greatest weakness, right? That fiery, competitive, like, is the reason that you're so successful. But sometimes it can hurt depending upon the timing of it. And so I think Catch is a great resource for that too. I think just being honest with her about, like, certain times, like, yo, it's time to kind of chill, or hey, yeah, go ahead, or I'll get this one, right? Like, I get this one. Having those conversations. You don't want to stifle the things that make her great, but you also have to take into consideration all of the things that go into the ultimate opportunities for success for your team.
See, that right then and there, that you have to love a coach like that, to communicate with you, say, "Hey, don't get this tech," and just know when to get a tech and when not to get a tech. You know what I'm saying? And then say, "Oh, well, all right, I got your back on this one." Because she did with Stephanie White, just a little illustrated, is that certain times of the game, We've seen it in playoff games. We've seen it in big games. If you get a technical foul that changes the momentum of the game, the teams done got in your head. Teams already coming after you. They already know to get you fired up. Then the referees already know, hey, I ain't gonna give her the next call. She gonna get mad. I could give her a T to get her out of here. That's what they do. When you don't get them nothing, say, hey, if I don't get the call, all right, I'm gonna make y'all give me the call. Cause then I'm gonna just try to go draw a foul. And you know, the referees was not on Caitlin Clark's side last year at all. I mean, we seen all the bumps, the bruises, the hurts, and everything. And the thing about it is that she didn't get calls, especially on her 3-pointers. On her 3-point shots, she didn't get hardly no calls off of that. The one when Dejanay had poked her in the eye, Dejanay should have been thrown out the game. That should have been a flagrant too. All of these stuff, man. And that's why I said that you have to have a coach that's going to challenge referees. Say, look, hey, this is not necessary. When your coach is getting into the referees, then it shows a level of respect. Now, this like same thing with Leah Boston too. She can't be whining and complaining to the referees as well. And see, she started did it a whole lot last year. Caitlin had a very valid reason why, because she was getting knocked all over the place. Leo Boston, she was getting fouled and she just want to yap her mouth. You know what I'm saying? We can't have that because guess what? We trying to win a championship this year. So it's time to pick and choose. Now they also discussed about, what her and Diane Taurasi said on the podcast about how many technical fouls you was going to get this year, whatever the case may be. And Stephanie Webster Diane Taurasi gave her any advice, and the young lady said, nah, they probably was counting to see who got the most. But I think that's one element of thing that communication with Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark is going to be the most healthy piece of this team, because it wasn't healthy with Christy Sides and Caitlin Clark last year. It wasn't healthy at all. And you've seen the frustration with Caitlin Clark with Christy Sides. And I'm so glad that we got a coach that knows what she's doing now. So I like this good segment. It's great to illustrate it and put it on point. So, but guys, you know what it is. Until the next episode is Live Wire Sports. And I'm out, and I'm out, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.